Hey, it's Len Davis with Pangiality Productions, and I'm here at the Whidbey Institute in Washington State at the 40th anniversary celebration of this amazing place with a lot of great activities going on over the course of the weekend. One woman whose talk I caught and some of her work in action I was appreciating is a woman named Deborah. What's your last name, Deborah?
Koff-Chapin.
Koff-Chapin, and I wanted to just introduce you to her and check out some of the work she's doing. So Deborah, tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we'll
Hi.
share some.
Well, I have been doing the process of touch drawing since 1974.
And what is touch drawing?
So, touch drawing is a way of drawing with your fingertips. What I will do is pretend, and if you caught some other footage, maybe there's some other way people can see, but pretend I'm rolling a thick ink onto this surface here. And I will take a little piece of paper here. Okay, I'm rolling ink down. I'm putting a piece of drawing paper down on top of the ink. All I do is touch the paper with my fingertips.
Okay, so what shows
And
up
everywhere
on
I
the paper?
touch, that pressure forms the drawing on the other side. And here you can see this is a book I've put together. So this was a touch drawing that I did.
Okay.
This book is a book of drawings I have done.
I'm catching the reflection, so turn a little more up the other way. There you go.
There.
Great.
I've done, I've done touch drawing in many capacities, and I teach the process, a really powerful healing art form. But this book that I put together for this event in particular focuses on my interpretive touch drawing, where I sit and listen to a lecture, generally soulful, inspirational lectures, or music or readings of some kind. And I'm listening to the content. We're all visualizing while we listen. But I'm actually creating and being active with that. So as I listened to, say, Joanna Macy this morning and her powerful talk, I'm just sort of opening myself and doing what comes to me as I listen to her. And it's a somewhat intuitive process as well, based on things I'm visualizing while she's saying, but also what just comes to me. And so this little book I put together is selections of drawings I've done for 31 years since I moved to Whidbey Island in association with events that Whidbey Institute and Chinook has had. So a lot of the wonderful inspirational authors and speakers I've gotten to listen to and create images that almost like an impression of their psyche and their vision on the paper.
Nice.
And I love doing that.
Sweet. Can you share a couple of your favorite images, or
My
to sort of demonstrate
Let's
the power of this
demonstrate
technique?
The process here. Oh, who knows Julia Butterfly Hill?
Mm-hmm.
The one who sat in a tree for 2 years, the
Okay.
old growth tree. So she was here speaking, and this to me feels like a drawing of her sitting in the great old ancient tree that she lived in for 2 years.
What else you got?
Let's see what else I've got. Michael Franti. They had an event with Michael Franti a number of years ago. I added some color to that afterwards. So later sometimes I enrich them with color.
So what's unique about this particular art form? How is this different from painting or drawing?
Well, what's different about this is the spontaneity of the process. This drawing you might think someone worked on for a long time. I may have done it in 5 minutes. So if you can imagine, it's actually bigger paper than this, but I'm pressing and rubbing on the paper from behind. And then this would be my fingernails.
Okay. So the really
Like that.
defined lines are...
Defined lines of fingernail, and fingertips are sort of sculpting and rubbing more hard to make it darker. And so this drawing can be done within possibly 5 minutes of a talk. And here's another one. And so there's a fluidity and a speed with this process that can keep up with our psyche. It's like the present is transmitted onto the paper, as close as possible to the present is transmitted onto the paper. So if I was drawing, not listening to somebody, I'd actually be going into my own feelings and sensations and going, what do I feel right now? What is the inner shapes that I feel inside my own body, spirit, soul? And I would give that form on the paper through my fingertips.
So other than the speed with which this medium is sort of, you can create something, you're suggesting that with a paintbrush or a pencil or something, you couldn't perform, you couldn't create as quickly?
I couldn't create it as quickly, and it comes it's much more direct. It's like the drawings are being born right out of your body. You're just moving your body and your fingertips and rubbing it and giving birth to images. And then you do a whole series in one sitting. So instead of getting stuck on working one image, you fluidly move from one to the next. And so you might do 8, 10, 12, 15 drawings in one sitting where you would ordinarily do one. And you have a record of the inner transformations of your psyche, or in this case, when I'm drawing, I have a record of the spirit and message of the person who is speaking. More pages.
Yeah, let's
cool.
take a look at some
Let's
more
take a look at
pictures.
some more. Whidbey Winter Gathering. These are ones I add a little color to.
Now, is that just
Afterwards?
changing the ink?
Oh, no, then after it dried, after I went home, I knew that this was a rose, and I knew this was a green living thing, and I just went after it was dry and added color and, with some colored pencils or paintbrushes, so I can work on them later.
Now, Deborah, tell me a little bit about, in the talk that you gave earlier, you were talking
Yes.
about this being a sort of an approachable art form,
Yes.
something that people who have medical limitations or mental limitations, who are
Right.
otherwise frustrated by painting or
Or
drawing.
people who feel like they just can't draw, people who just want to express themselves, but probably 2/3 of the people who come to my general population workshops feel very much like they're not artists and they can't draw, but they have a longing to express themselves. And this process helps people to relax. And in the relaxation, their self begins to speak through the drawings, and they sort of forget that they're drawing, and it's like they're gazing in an inner mirror and just allowing their soul to speak. So the range of applications are, it's work by people who have Parkinson's and autism and physical disabilities, because you don't need to have the skill to hold a tool. But also it's used as a really deep spiritual creative meditation process as well. So there's this full spectrum of possibilities of how the process can be used. And I try and spread it, encourage other people to teach it. It's very open source, the way that I spread the process. I have a facilitator workbook, and I just say, if you have an area of expertise and you get what touch drawing is, find your own way to present it with the people that you work with.
How would people who are interested in that, the booklet that you've created, find you?
Touchdrawing.com. I've got a website with all kinds of things, a really new, updated website right now.
Okay, and that's about sort of teaching people how to do this art form, or it's a showcase for your work, or both?
It's all there through that one website.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you've been holding gatherings here at the Whidbey Institute over the years?
17 years.
Tell me about it.
So I do a 6-day intensive every summer, particularly oriented to people who want to spread the process, so that I offer the deepest experience, and it's so much more than touch drawing. It's a really deep soul transformational event. And
6 days of doing this kind of work?
6 days of doing this, yes. It's hard to believe, but we go from very personal to like working with our own self to interpersonal. We do intuitive drawings for partners, and it's mind-blowing because we see right in front of our eyes how we have access to more knowledge than we ever would have thought, because people draw things for their partner that they had no idea about, and the partner recognizes. So it's a very powerful thing to do the intuitive drawing. And then we walk the labyrinth and do planetary drawing, and we have a day of silence. So it's all crafted for a very natural sequence of the experience.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the name touch drawing, is that something you created, or that's the name
So
of the...
I have been doing the process since 1974, and no person taught it to me. I came across it very playfully in a print shop on my last day in art school. But behind the scenes, I know that I was searching for something else, for a more natural way to draw. And I was helping a friend to clean up in the print shop and just decided to play. The quick story is I moved my hands on the back of a paper towel, and and I saw that the lines happened on the other side of the paper towel, just like that napkin, really. That first drawing was on a paper towel. Moved my fingertips over the ink, picked it up, saw these organic lines that were coming directly out of my body, and it was so natural, so different from handling a tool. and it blew me open energetically. Something when my fingertips were unplugged, so there's something it's hard to describe about this that's so different from grasping a tool. My fingertips were unplugged, and I was just open to this large, ecstatic stream of energy, and I knew I was crawled around on the floor, did more of these little drawings, and it was very childlike and playful, but I also knew that it was a profound human way of expressing and making images that felt like it was emerging for the future.
Let's take a look at a couple more images.
A couple more. Let's open to... Oh, these were from the Earth and Spirit Conference when Thomas Berry was talking. So again, these are all drawings that are focused on different... Oh, Jane Goodall came here also. Joan Borisenko did a talk on spirituality in the new millennium.
Nice.
So, you know, and each one of these is just the touch of my finger and then the rub of the fingertip to create them.
Great. So tell me your name once more
Sure.
and tell me where people can find
Okay.
more about the work you do.
I'm Deborah Koff-Chapin, and you can go to www.touchdrawing.com, just the two words, touch and drawing.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing, Deborah.
Thank you so much.
So again, it's Lynn Davis with Pangelity Productions here at the Whidbey Institute, just learning about the world and myself and all these amazing things that people are doing and the transformative work that's going on here. And just a pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Deborah.
Great to meet you.
Cool.